All right, welcome in everybody. My name's Casey. Oh,
I'm
man.
kidding.
We have to edit that out. Or leave it in. All right, this is Express Mail. I'm Casey.
I'm Gavin.
All right, we got a few items to clear up here today. Number one, let's go back to that Super Bowl. How did that turn out for you, Kevin?
That was
a whooping.
That was a butt kicking.
It's
Kansas
so
City
good.
did not show up. I don't know. I can't say they didn't show up. They, but Philly had a game plan and they took it to them, and they had an answer for everything that Kansas City was going to do. They played as good a football game as you're going to play.
Okay, and go back to what me and you originally talked about Kansas City. I don't know how many times during the year they had to come back to win. I don't know how many times during the year they just barely beat somebody by a few points.
But they were beating everybody, though.
They were, but they hadn't played the Monster Eagles yet. And that's why I predicted 40.
I think they did.
They
played them at the first of the – that might have been Washington. I don't remember.
I was right, so I don't know what I get for that. But we're going to have a taste test live here before we get started. We have bought – Kevin hasn't tasted it yet, the new Dr. Pepper Zero Blackberry. Isn't that what it's called, Blackberry?
I don't know. You stuck it in this deal. I can't see.
Do you really have to twist that off? Is that one of your things?
saving that for my
Blackberry Zero.
I could smell it before everything.
I know. What do you think? Not bad? Too sweet?
Tastes like grape.
Grape?
Yeah.
That's downright delicious, I think. Do you like it?
Yeah, I couldn't see myself buying one every day.
Right.
But yeah, it's good.
But it's pretty good. Not bad, huh? I think Robin will like it.
Probably not.
Really?
I don't know.
Maybe.
She's kind of weird. Rip your top off when you get done there, and I'll say.
Oh, okay. All right, for sure. All right, so let's start out. We covered the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles and my buddy Jeff Barley. I know you're watching. Congratulations, buddy. Stop with all the Dallas Cowboy videos, though. He loves to play me some, but go ahead. What do we got?
How about Daytona?
Yeah, Daytona. Today is...
the day after Daytona.
The day after. Golly. Yep, the day after Daytona. What'd you think?
That was a good, man. I'm a Junior fan, so I was an Earnhardt fan back in the day, and I'm a Junior fan, and
rooting for the whiskey car.
Yeah, and Chris Stapleton, he helped sponsor that car. And
what kind of whiskey?
Traveler whiskey.
Traveler whiskey. Good looking car.
Got that song called Traveler.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that all tied together.
Very good looking car. We did watch that all day yesterday to see where he's going to end up. But
Kevin Harvick and what's his name? Never mentioned his name in the.
Really?
Did not
in the broadcast.
Never mentioned Justin Allgaier. Never mentioned Dale Earnhardt Jr. Nothing all day long. Or Mike Joy. What's the other boy's name? Clint Boyer.
Never said a word.
Never mentioned his name that I know of. And there had to be something like.
Do they all together or something?
Yeah, they're up in the broadcast booth. Harvick.
And they never mentioned who?
They never mentioned Junior's name, or they never mentioned Justin Allgaier's name.
And Justin Allgaier was the driver. Well, I think they did one time, but was he ever in the top? He was in the top 10 a couple times.
He finished ninth. Yeah, but he was up there like a couple times. He was up in the top 10, but most time he kind of run back to 20th.
Yeah.
But he kept his car together, and they say about Daytona and Talladega, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
So just don't get caught up in the wrecks, and who knows, anybody can win. Usually
anybody every time they run that freaking race, that proves to me anybody can win, because where was he setting that number 24? Now, see, I'm a Jeff Gordon fan. Everybody hates me because of that.
Yeah, 24. He was like running about 9, 8 or 9
when the wreck happened.
When the wreck starts happening, and he barely skated through too. Because I mean, whoever
great finish though, and they let him race to the end before they threw the caution. But it was cool. That's unbelievable. He won 2 years in a row though. That's really rare. And he's young.
I think it's like the 5th time it's happened in the 60 something
Yeah.
years it's been going on.
Golly.
I'll
But
tell you another big shocker for me was Jimmy Johnson.
where'd he end up?
Wound up third. And he did the same thing as Allgaier. He just kept his stuff together.
And just
And-
hung back.
And when the end came, he was there, Wound up finishing third. So
Whose car was he driving?
I think it's his. It's
Oh wow.
I don't
Was it
know
a
if he
Lowe's?
actually. No, it's
He's
I
moved
forget
on
who
to
it-
something else.
he's not with Hendricks anymore, so he's got his own team going. He's been out for a couple of years or whatever, he retired and come back with his own team. And I don't know if it's him and some other
Some
people
other
or
people.
whatever. I don't know if he's probably not the sole owner. I don't know, but anyway,
So we got for those of you who don't know, and it's kind of strange, but Daytona's kind of like the Super Bowl of NASCAR, but that's where they start, basically, right?
It's
I know
kinda
they had
weird.
a couple races like a week before somewhere, but that was like
little small time stuff. I
yeah.
guess.
So this was the big race, and then they're going to have some more big races, but this is the beginning of the season, so we got a long way to go to see who wins this year. But what a start for number 24. What's his name?
William Byron.
Yeah, so I saw Jeff Gordon out there too, and hugging him and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Gordon's pretty much running that whole operation
That
now. He's
whole
like,
show.
well, I don't know if he's running the whole thing, but Rick Hendrick, he's got a lot of things going on. So he's like, hey, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna step back and
let me rest.
yeah.
But anyway, so that's NASCAR. We got some real cool things to talk about next.
Plane wrecks.
Now I don't know how many of y'all riding planes a lot, but I love flying airplanes. But right now I would not get on a plane for nothing. I just wouldn't.
You watch all that stuff. You watch all the.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just hearing it. Every
But I mean,
day.
what I was gonna say is, what do you? I mean, like you watch all that stuff, but you kind of keep up with plane stuff more than I do, I
Yeah.
guess, because you watch it on TV, the plane wrecks and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and
Yep.
then
Oh yeah, you
You
talking
were saying
about
something
that
about-
show I watched?
Yeah.
Air disasters.
but a lot of things have been going on about this DEI stuff, and I don't know.
But I mean, it's almost
But,
every week.
So
there's a
yeah,
plane
this is about
crash
the fourth one in a month.
Yeah, and that's
Three of them are
unheard
kind of
of.
right there together.
That's unheard of. So something bad's going
A
on.
Delta plane, if you don't know, emergency landing in I think somewhere up in Canada. I don't know. Anyway, rolled over. How did it roll over?
Well, the tower. Somebody said the tower told them there were 70-mile-an-hour winds, and I don't know if that's what flipped him over. But then this other pilot was watching his descent, and he said, when you're coming in and you're descending, you never descend more than 600 feet per so long. He said this guy was dropping 1,000 feet at a time, which was unheard of, and they said the plane was going way too slow. So it's almost like he was falling out of the sky almost. But I mean, it wasn't falling out of the sky, but he was coming down hard and slow. So I don't know. I don't know if the wind flipped him over. You would hope there's video rolling somewhere on that airport.
Yeah, I seen.
You'd
I
think,
just seen a news clip of it, and it was just showed it upside down,
Yeah.
laying there. But
Yeah. They got to have videos pointing on all of those runways. So eventually we'll see the video and what happened to it. But
that's wild.
I wouldn't get on an airplane right now. And I love to fly, but I just wouldn't. And then it wasn't too long ago, my ex-son-in-law's dad, who was a pilot, either in the Navy or Air Force for 30 years, flew private jets, flew everything. Yeah, he got killed in a
Plane
airplane
wreck.
crash in his own airplane. So I don't know. It's just the DEI scares me because we know what's going on and been going on for 4 years. So we got to clean that up. And not saying that had anything to do with any of these plane crashes, but something's going on in the airline industry and the aviation industry where there's way more issues than we've ever had. I mean, you go back.
Usually it's like a plane wreck every 10 years. Once every 8 or
Yeah.
10 years, you'd hear one.
But now it's like every day you turn around and something happens somewhere
We're barely
else.
in the
and-
second month, and we've already had 4.
Oh,
that
man.
we know of.
So anyway, that's a bummer. Good thing is everybody made it out alive. I think only 8
I think there
injuries.
was a couple that were like critical, but
Oh, really?
yeah, well,
Oh, wow.
that's what they were saying on the news that I seen. But
But anyway,
people
so
getting a cold.
it's just scary right now. So I don't know. I'd be afraid to fly right now for some reason.
I always liked to fly
I
when I
love to
did.
fly. Love to fly. I love to watch airplanes. I mean, I love everything about it. But I don't know if I'd get on one right now.
Kind of scary.
It is scary.
I know
All
something you
right.
wanted to talk about, the Kennedy. What about
Yeah,
how many
something.
how many
Jeez.
conspiracy theorists is out there that's like have been proven right?
Yeah, I've been saying it ever since I was old enough to watch the videos, and then I've never believed it was one shooter. I remember I was listening to the radio, and the top uh, sniper in the United States said there is no way he could have even done what they're
What
claiming.
Oswald did.
They're claiming Oswald did from that window up there. How fast he had to reload, find the target. The target's moving. He said there's no way. And I didn't think there was any way. Then you watch the last headshot. It's not coming from the back. It's coming either from the side or the front area. And then you watch. If you haven't watched it, go find the documentary on the Dallas doctors on the JFK shooting, and those doctors in Dallas when his body was rolled in. I mean, fresh from the shooting, he had just got shot, and the main doctor of Parkland, he said, I was standing over his head. His whole head, the back of his head was blown out. The bullet came in from the front. And all them doctors sat there and testified that the pictures we were seeing out of Washington, when they wouldn't let him do the autopsy in Dallas, they jumped him on the plane and got him to Washington. The pictures coming out of Washington of JFK's body was not what they saw in their operating room or their room where they observed his body. They said those pictures were manipulated, but that is not what they saw. That documentary will definitely. And now, I don't know what
With
her
all this
name
stuff,
was.
all this stuff being released.
Yeah, she come out and said it's obvious there's two shooters, and I'm like, you know, they're covering all this stuff up for years. I don't know. It's insane.
What do you think of? All right, like I mean, I don't. I'm not like conspiracy theorist type people. I don't. You know, to me, I look at something, man, and I think, well, you know, like if you'd have watched the video of him actually being shot, I would have thought somebody over here in the crowd caught him in the head while he was coming down the,
Yep.
or something, because you seen the piece of his head go flying out the back, and
Yeah.
I don't know what Jackie O was trying to reach up on the.
Yeah.
She went to crawling out of the back.
Yeah.
Like
The another interview. I think it's on that same documentary. They had, that train that bridge going across the top used to be railroad tracks back in '63 when this happened, and there was an old man that worked for the railroad standing on there watching him come down, and he said when the shooting started, he said he saw the shot from the bushes up on the grassy knoll. He saw the smoke come out of the rifle, and he said it was never a question to him where that final shot came from. And he said then all of a sudden they're telling us there wasn't a shot from the grassy knoll. He said I saw the smoke come out of the rifle. So now it's being proven with the release of all the documents that it looks like there's two shooters, and I've always said that. If you ever deer hunt or anything, and you redo it and you try to realign that scope where that deer is, you know how hard that can be just to find the dang thing.
I don't know how hard it is on some of these armadillos I found. Right
That's true, and so you got to move and target people moving, and then something else I'd never seen before until that video I just sent you. I watched it about 2 days ago. He talked about the right before Kennedy turned down onto whatever that street is.
That Commerce?
Is that Maine?
Maine or Commerce?
Maine or Commerce, right there, that where he was shot. Yeah, and right when he turned, they called his detail off the side of his cars. and you can see the guys they're jogging beside the car in case anything happens. They were called off right before he turned that corner, and they're throwing their arms up like, "Why are y'all calling us off?" So just too much crap involved for me to believe it was one guy up there.
Well, nobody wants to believe that
Our government.
our government would do some stuff like that. I guess the average person anyway. But I mean, when you think about it, uh, these people have power.
Ugh.
Sometimes too much, way too much. And too many people nowadays, I think, seem to think that, well, this is the way the government wants it, and this is the way it's going to be. It don't have to be. I mean, it's not that. That's not the way things were meant to be. It's meant to be the people want it this way, so the government's going to have to do it that way.
Yeah,
that's the way it's supposed to work. And that's a representative. People, you hear people all the time. We live in a democracy. We live in a democracy. We live in a representative republic. That's our form of democracy. But a democracy, just a flat out democracy, if you don't know, that's just mob rule. That's whoever has the most votes, that's the way we're going to do it, whether you like it or not. That's not the way our government's set up. But maybe just with because the same old people, even on TV, the people that know our form of government, that's all they say is democracy. We live in a democracy. You're going to go wreck our democracy.
I'm so sick
Well,
of it.
you know what? If these people are, and I just, without sounding too conspiracy, I just think there's a whole lot going on that we don't know about, and a lot of people need to wake up to the fact that there's some wicked people. There's some wicked people, and they'll do anything they can to hang on to
just
power.
keep power.
Yeah. And it's just like all this Doge money. I mean, if you think about all the billions and they come out and they tax you, people tax you, and then for schools or whatever, we need more money for schools, or we need more money for this, and if we're going to cut this over here, where's this going to come from?
Yeah, they're throwing billions of dollars,
billions and billions and billions away. So I think the federal government actually collects about
$1 trillion.
No, about two. It's about 2 point something trillion in taxes a year.
Jesus,
that's what the federal government. Somewhere in that range, 2.5. Just say 2.5 trillion. $2.5 trillion. When you think about a billion being 1,000 million, you think, oh, he just got a billion.
What's a trillion? 1,000 billion?
I don't know. But if a billion is 1,000 million, then how much is a trillion? Is it 1,000 billion?
I don't know, but I guarantee over my lifetime I've had 1 trillion grains of sugar in my life.
Yeah, probably. I don't doubt that a bit.
There are rumors though that in about 3.5 years we're gonna move to to where we're gonna crown Trump as a king. So I think we're working on the crown right now.
Yeah, like probably
the
so.
Jewels that go in it and everything. So looking forward to that.
He's taking suggestions on what it should look like, I think.
Yeah. I think I might draw some pictures. Man, but anyway, so it's ridiculous what's going on, and to come to find out that the JFK stuff that they've been hiding from us for
years and years, since
1963.
It happened in 60. Yeah,
the year I was born.
I was 14 months old when that happened. And so it's been,
So anyway, so let's. I will tell you this now.
Most of the people that's why they kept it sealed for so long, because most of the people that were involved are dead. There's probably, you think of government people, they were 30, probably at least 30 to 40 years old. Well, 62 years later, they're all dead. So
yeah,
you can't do nothing about it. Except go, wow, we was right.
There was a personal connection. You go back and watch any of the old reels was it Cronkite with the pipe? No, it wasn't Cronkite that was
I don't know.
interviewing this husband and wife and their two little kids. They got rushed into the newsroom, and you can see them talking to him about what they saw and what they heard. And even in the video, you can see him just jump down on the ground. And he said the reason he jumped down the ground because he heard the bullet whiz by his head from the grassy knoll. And yet you never heard or saw those people again. They never. But the reason I said it's a personal connection, my mom worked with either the husband or the wife at IBM, and so she knew them personally. So, but yeah, he said he heard a bullet whiz by his head, and he's standing on the hill there. He said it come from behind him. That's why he grabbed his family and threw them on the ground. Again, it's just there's just too much evidence, and don't even get me started about the moon landing. Oh.
He's one of them conspiracy guys.
Yeah, but everybody, all of us who always never believed it was one shooter, they say we're conspiracy theorists.
You're right.
Yet now,
I agree
but
with you.
now
100%.
we're getting facts that we were right this whole time,
Yeah.
and yet our government was telling us, "Oh, you don't need to think about that. This is what you need to think about," and it's just another control method by these idiots. So,
Well, you may be right. I was running around the neighborhood as a little kid when the moon landing was going on. I remember it being on TV, and I wasn't really as into it as a lot of people.
I was,
but I was
my
a little
mom and
kid.
dad had us watching it on the tube, and I think I could see the microphones dangling off the side. So anyway, but so much about the moon landing. Let's not go there because, boy, I could open up a can of worms on that. I had to find that documentary for you to watch. You'd love it. But anyway, what else we got, Kevin? Have we confirmed Nana D's going to be coming in the next 2 weeks? I think, right? She called. She talked to you.
She's kind of rude to me.
Wow. She still smokes too.
Tell her. Tell her to get chipper before she shows up here, because I don't want to sit here and take a beating while I'm.
Well, I get in trouble for teaching these. Well, I don't know, teaching, but suggesting things that women should do for their men. I'll just give you one right now. It's about cooking. So, some of you women are trying to put like a dessert in front of your husband, and then you tell him it's good for him. Yeah, you ever had one of those? Oh, it's made of sugar-free gelatin and sugar-free this. I'm like,
just
dessert,
don't say nothing. Just let me eat it, and I'll probably like it anyway.
Oh my gosh! If you're making a dessert, here's what you do. No matter what it calls, let's say it's blueberries, and it asks for a cup of blueberries. Put a cup and a half. If it asks for a cup of sugar, put a cup and a half. If it asks for a stick of butter, put a stick and a half. Up the ingredients that make the product better, and your recipe will be better than everybody else's. That's how I see it.
If you just don't say nothing about it being healthy, then we'd probably go over and eat it and say, "Oh boy, yeah, it's good stuff,"
I'd be like, "Can you give me some? I'd sprinkle sugar."
Yeah, I know you would. And caramel and whatever else you got in there.
Oh my, we had some brownies now, didn't we?
They were good.
Nana D though will be coming in the next 2 weeks. I want to do a shout out for Mr. Woodcock who did the AC and air conditioning. Our video turned out. Yeah, we hit the wrong button. Then one of the editing things messed up, and so it just got all messed up. So we're going to try to get him back, redo it. He's wanting to put that on his company website. So if you've watched that, you know what we're talking about. But I just want to, we're going to put his name of his company. If you have any AC and heating issues, please give this guy a call. He's very honest, and you won't feel like you're getting screwed over because it's easy to get screwed over by some of these companies.
You get my nephew to come on here.
What does he do?
Build spurs. He builds some of the most beautiful spurs you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and I see there's people out there like me that go, "Who cares what a spur looks like?" So what do you say to that? These are not to be used though, are they?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Some people use them. Yeah.
Oh, you hung them on the wall as art?
No.
So how much? Okay, so real quick, So he does spurs. So we will get him
Spurs
on
and leather stuff, but
Okay,
Spurs,
but so let's talk about Spurs for a minute. So he's been all this time putting his spur together, all these beautiful.
well, it's like they got. I mean, stuff like your initials or something. You just take a regular spur. You know what I mean, you got it in picture it in your head what a spur looks like. Well, along the band that goes around the back of your heel might have like KJD on there or something,
Okay.
or a flower or whatever kind of something you want on there. And it's he kind of I don't know how they put him on there. He kind of
I don't either.
spot welded or something. I don't know.
I
I don't even
guess.
brazen whatever.
We'll
kind of
have
stuff.
him on. He can tell us.
But yeah, it's
Will he come on?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll
But tell the
on.
audience how much a set of spurs can go for.
Oh,
Well, just say a set of his that are personalized. What does he sell those for? Now wait a minute. Before
don't
he
know.
tells us, see, I'm thinking a pair of spurs. I go down the store, buy me some spurs for about $15. That ain't what
No.
we're talking about.
no, you ain't gonna. If you find a pair for $15, they're just rust.
They're junk. Okay, now talk about some of the famous guys that have made spurs and what are they selling for?
If they're dead,
Yeah,
there's guys that were spur makers from back in the
30s,
30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever, and you can find names, certain names on them spurs, and it's, they're $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. That was the last that I knew of when
Right.
I, paid attention a little bit to that stuff.
Yeah.
I know 10, 12 years ago, they were going to trade shows and like Western flea market kind of things, not necessarily flea market, be like a festival or something other, but a Western festival kind of thing.
Right.
And they'd have vendors there and they would take orders for them then. But I mean, back then they were, it wasn't uncommon at all for 1,000 to 1,500 a pair. If the guy was dead, he wasn't making those spurs no more, and he had a reputation for building quality stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, them ones that my nephew builds, they're probably, I don't know, I'm guessing $400, $500, $600.
See, I never dreamed that.
But
Never dreamed
if
that.
you buy a good set of spurs and they're built right, they're gonna last you a long, long time until you decide. Matter of fact, you're probably not gonna wear them out. You might wear the rowel out that's on the spur, but you can always put new ones on there.
Do you think in today's time, since we're not the wild wild west like we used to be, like in the 1800s, I mean everybody had to have spurs basically. But I mean, like now, does anybody ever build them just for artwork? Are there any?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him that, but if they do, they're not selling a lot of them. They might sell them for a whole bunch of money, but they're not selling many
a ton
of
of
them. No,
They're for actual use.
you go to the Western end, go to a rodeo, go to a horse show, go to any kind of thing like that, and half the people you see walking around are going to be wearing a pair of spurs. That's just, everybody, if you're on a horse, you're going to be wearing a pair of spurs.
You got to have a pair of spurs on.
So, but yeah, they build them now to.
I've never owned a pair of spurs. Have you?
Yeah. So,
yeah, you've had.
Quite a few pair.
Do you wear them when you're riding bulls?
Yes.
The same style that you would wear a horse on for a horse?
No.
Oh,
There's
okay,
different
so
kinds. Yeah, they make them for bull riding. They make them for bronc riding. They make them for just Western.
You ever rode an ostrich with them?
No. Don't let an ostrich start chasing you.
I'm telling you, they're crazy.
I heard a story about one of them one time. A guy shot one of them. He thought it was dead.
Oh Lord!
He got up there and went by the fence, and this ostrich jumped up. And he went and jumped in the back of the truck or something other and took off. And he said this ostrich was running 30 miles an hour along that fence trying to stay
God.
with him. I was like,
no way, no way. Well, all right, everybody. Is we gonna wrap this up?
Yeah,
if you haven't seen the Parkland Doctors, Dallas Doctors, JFK documentary, go see it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Other than that, I think, tell you what, I'm gonna do something special here. We're gonna bring Mini Me up here and remind all the ladies to do something for your man today. do something to make him realize how much you appreciate him. I don't care if it's wash his truck, you know, put chocolates on the pillow.
I need to go in there and check and see if she's putting any logs on the fire again.
That's true. You know, put logs on the fire. You know, do something for your man. You know, some of y'all been getting lazy, but other than that, I guess we'll wrap it up.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, email
And comment.
us. Email will be on the screen down here or up there. And with that, I guess we're out of here. I'm Casey.
I'm Kevin.
See you later.
Adios.